Good evening, good evening. Happy Thursday. Kingdom's greetings, and welcome to Spirit to Spirits Weekly. Do you care? Pod stream, Facebook stream, well, whatever you would like to call it. Well, we're back. We want to apologize about last week. Me and Denny. It's just me and him. We maybe trying to do too much. I don't know, but not on the brag side, anything like that. But God, He's still with us. We're still trying. We're still trying to do His work. But we're here this week by the grace of Him. And what we're going to do, I'm going to play a little short video of a live program that we did in Pennsylvania with the He conference. With To Save Soul Records. This will be the first time I actually even showed this, so it's going to be an exclusive for everyone. And right after it finishes, we'll be back in the studio with Denny and me. All right, y'all, enjoy.
Yeah, that's my man. See, it's not often, and this is the truth. Y'all know not many brothers and sisters actually get along. You right. You know what I mean? Right. But God designed. Our family was 8 of us, 4 girls, 4 boys. We have a tight knit family. Of course, there is some dysfunction. That's because we are human. Right. But we have a closeness that the outside world won't defeat because of God. Amen. We were raised by both our mothers and our fathers. Right today, that is rare. That's not happening much with a mother and father in the house. Both doing what God intended them to do. So we feel like it's part of our responsibility to carry that on. I mean, honest, to tell that story. Because again, it's almost non-existent. And that is why the world is in, it was prophesied. Hey, we where God wants us to be. But we have people like the pastor. Keith, you pastor. You, Jim, to clean it up. To clean it up through our willingness to give. In our giving, do we receive? I heard a woman say something to that effect at the She conference. She said, tithe your money off the top. Don't go spend what you want to spend first. Once you get it, I got this to do. I want this over. Tithe off the top. Then do what you need to do and see what kind of blessings that come into your life. If you sacrifice nothing, what do you think you're going to get? Nothing. That same struggle that you had going on off the top. Try it. I mean, this is something you can try for yourself. Don't take it because it came from somebody else. But I do believe God put things in your ears He wants you to hear. And everybody don't get it. But the ones He choose, they cannot lose. You hear me? Cannot lose. Will not lose. This is the era we came from. Earth, wind, and fire. Yeah, last night we did some little steps. Yeah, so we're going to do a little step. Say we are spirit to spirit. We believe our true life force is spirit. And only spirit can speak to spirit. Did you hear what I said, y'all? We hope that in this short time that we spend together, you will allow our spirit to speak to your spirit. All in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost. Can I give it amen? Look, Tari's White was here. He'll do something like this. gonna do this song. Put that microphone in your hand, John.
This is the live clip from Spirit to Spirit, live in Pennsylvania, at the Sheehy Conference. This was done a couple of months back. We will be back in the studio directly with Jenny and Mike, Spirit to Spirit. Enjoy. Welcome, Geraldine. Welcome to our live weekly broadcast. Like to see you. How you doing? We're back in the studio, live. Welcome, Facebook family, to our Spirit to Spirit weekly broadcast. You see Denny sitting in the studio, sitting there waiting to, enlighten us and give us some information and just tell us what's on his mind, because, God does work through Denny. So, I guess you're going to stop the prayer though, right, bro?
Yeah. And I'll correct, well, not correct, Mike, but add on to what it
is. Yeah,
said.
there you go. Yeah.
God works through everyone because his purpose is being served throughout all his creation. But of course, there are those of us who are charged with a mission that he has given us. And we'd like to believe that he has given us a mission to bring people together and to serve as a ministry to reach out and remind people the importance of caring about one another, as well as our mission to establish message music as a formal genre in the music industry. Now, if you see me swinging and batting around at things, see, look, we have an infestation of fruit flies here. We're in the basement, and because of all this hot, humid weather, even though we do have AC.
Drive me crazy.
Yeah, they have gathered here, and we're working on a solution for that problem. Because I personally have a phobia to flying insects. It drives me up the wall. But not to make this a long drawn out thing, I like to start things off with prayer.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask Mike to come over here because this is
I ain't got my do-rag going.
yeah, okay, well.
I ain't ready for it. I won't be looking pretty as I usually look.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so, you know.
All right, pretty man. Look here. Let us bow our heads, close our eyes, so that we can reach inside and with sincerity pray to our Father and the Son, which art in heaven. Dear loving and gracious Father, I send out a plea, dear Lord, to continue to keep us in your grace and in your mercy, because we're in a world that is fulfilling your prophecy and are going absolutely mad with hatred and indifference toward our fellow man and woman. I pray, dear Lord, because I am tired of hearing on the news and firsthand seeing the violence that is engulfing not just our nation, but all over the world. In my humanity, I want to pray, Lord, and say, dear Lord, please deliver us from this evil. Stamp it out. Please usher in your new kingdom.
Yes, Lord.
On earth and in heaven. But I know, dear Lord, all things will be done in your time. The book has already been written, and Father, in layman's terms, we're playing catch up. This whole thing called heaven and earth has to play itself out because you are who you are. I ask you to give us the understanding, Father, that we lack. And though our understanding may never be your understanding, give us your continued faith that when we in the kingdom, while Christ-minded, will hear you say those wonderful words, well done, my good and faithful son and daughter. Have your way with us all the days of our lives, and we will always be careful to give your name the praise. In your name, Father, the great I am, and in your Son who shed his blood, that we might have life, and life more abundantly. Amen.
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 And amen.
Amen. Our triple amen.
Now,
what's on your mind, my brother?
There's a lot on my mind because, like I said earlier, I usually don't look at the news because it's not enough good news being shared by the media. You and I all know that violence and madness sells products. It's sensationalized to the point, and for whatever reason, I believe, to keep us fearful and in place and divided as a people. But I saw a disturbing piece in the news of 4 young black men jumped out of a car. Now, this is not far from where Mike and I actually live. We're talking about just over the Maryland line. So I would approximate it maybe 7-8 blocks away. That 4 young black men jumped out of a car, guns blazing, with handkerchiefs and masks on their face, like this was the Wild Wild West.
Well, I didn't see it, man.
You
wow.
didn't see that man firing down and killed a 10-year-old baby girl.
My God.
Who
Oh, wow.
died
I didn't see that. My goodness.
in her kinsfolk's arms. Now, my heart goes out to the family and tears stream down my face because we care about not what only happens in our community, but what's happening all over the world. Now, on the news, they're making a big deal, and to some extent it should be, about our president and the president of Russia, hand in hand, supposedly enemies. And for a variety of reasons, our government are in total disarray with this situation. I personally, firsthand, would say, well, how does that affect me personally? It affects me because I live in the United States, and although I'm not even free in my own country, I'm not safe in my own neighborhood. And it's not so much because the Russians are coming. It's because we don't have enough policy, enough positive government programs or assistance to keep our youth occupied and employed and driven in the right direction toward Christ. It's not just the job of the church, because the church itself is being divided. Divide and conquer is not just about race. It's about principality. It's about powers. Love versus hate. Good versus evil. These are subjects that are covered by the church and more or less every religious faction. But our concern, Spirit to Spirit's concern, is the same concern for all the faithful people all over the world. God, deliver us from this evil. The evil of Russia, the evil of Korea, the madness of China, Syria, Iraq, and countries who cannot get along for the need for power or in defense of power over them to change their way of life. I don't know about you.
I got a message. I got a song for that too. Play it right after you're through, man.
Okay. Well, I don't know about you. I want to believe that more of you than less of you believe that love will conquer all, in spite of what it looks like or what it may seem to be. But during the process, my brother and I personally want to hear God say, "Well done, my good and faithful son."
Yes, Lord. Yeah.
So what we want to do is continue our mission, which is this current project called Do You Care? It's not just about the song or the video. First and foremost, it's about the message. Asking the question, do you care? Because if you care, you have to make that known, not in just word. Even though life and death is in the tongue, it starts and ends there. But it's about what type of actions you take toward that end.
Indeed and truth. It's
So,
on the website.
Again, we will point you to the GoFundMe page and remind you that we are in partnership with Two Saved Souls Records in that endeavor. That endeavor bigger than we could ever imagine it to be, because we don't know God's full intent
Welcome, Geraldine.
for putting that
How you doing?
on the hearts and minds of those involved as we reach out for further assistance for those who have the resources
Welcome, Rhoda.
to help. Welcome, Rhoda. Welcome, Geraldine. I didn't want you to think I was dismissing you, because we appreciate everyone who joins on and views what we have to say and what we have to share. We only hope that you would share it with others, because we're like John, a voice crying out in the wilderness, and we want to be heard. But more than be heard, we want you to act, to take action in doing whatever it is you can do to make it better, not just for yourself, but for your fellow man. For are we not our brothers and sisters keeper? All right, not to get all caught up in that, because like I said, I will speak on this again, but I'm going to ask Mike to play the song he said that was relevant to what I was speaking on.
Basically, man, all our music is about that, ain't it? It's
More true that. Oh, but before you play that, I did want to say have a personal shout out to my grandson who was in town. He's living in Georgia with his father. I want to say, hey Khalil, I love you. And my grandbabies, of course, Noah and Eden, and their mother, who I love dearly, for providing a family that a man can be proud of. Lakia Edwards Jenkins, I've always called her Jenkins, even though she carries her mother's last name on paper. So, Auntie Marsha Carter, oh man, she don't let me never forget to have her name cross my list, because she is an angel.
Every broadcast, man,
and
we
not
have to
in disguise,
mention
a straight up God-sent individual who cares and shows this organization she cares, not just in word but in action, by a constant donation and support.
We love you, Marsha.
Love you, Marsha. To my wife, I must say, baby, I couldn't do it without your support. 21 years of dealing with a man who's been up and down, an addict,
like a roller coaster.
yeah, you know, a mental ill patient, a man divided within himself because of his emotion, not being able to handle my emotion, and the fact that I care so much. I'd rather be numb than to deal with the realization of the madness and hatred all over the world, especially directed at the black race. Lord have mercy. Don't let me start. So I'm going to ask Michael to play this music, and we'll get right back to you, and we won't browbeat you all night with the love of our music, even though we'd like to, or for our so-called personal opinions. But we realize the importance of influence, and we are trying and hopefully influencing you to serve Christ, not man nor the enemy, Christ and the Father. So, without further ado, my dear big brother, Michael, let's help the people smile.
Yeah, let's let them smile. I'm going to play You Better Get Ready. This song is off of our second CD. It's very, very inspiring, man. I mean, listen to the lyrics. Listen to the lyrics very carefully. All right, here we go.
Yeah, you ain't ready yet. Get ready. Prepare yourself, coming up, Lord. Get ready. When I was a child, I saw as children see, but now I'm not a child. I see homelessness and ignorance, and children running wild. I see children's tears and people's fears, lost in mindless games, empty eyes and hopelessness, suffering and pain. More dangerous than a soldier with a street downloaded. Don't need nobody's people. Hustler, rustler, so-called player, hardcore hip-hop. Know what I'm saying? Babies raising babies, streets raising them. Women loving women, men loving men. I heard a 6-year-old curse a teacher out. Take a look at yourself. Tell me what you about. Prepare yourself. Lord, get ready. Better watch what you say and do. What you do comes back to you.
Yeah, don't you know? You reap what you sow.
Come judgment day, it's one-on-one, no one for you to blame. Repent your sins, begin again. Praise His holy name. Prepare yourself for coming of the Lord. Get ready.
The Lord knows our works, our trials, tribulation, and poverty, but we are rich in spirit. It is said, no one knows the hour our judgment will come. But it will come quickly.
Condemnation in the night.
But there will be signs and warnings, earthquakes, hurricanes, tsunamis, and wildfires. We will no longer know the seasons. War, famine, plague, pestilence, and disease.
Get ready. Oh, you better get ready. Get ready. Bedtime. You better get ready. I'm ready. Get ready. Oh, you better get ready. Get ready. You better get ready. Prepare yourself. Come. You better get ready. Get ready. Get ready. You better get ready. You better get ready. Get ready. Oh, you better get ready. You better get ready. Get ready. Get ready. You better get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Oh, you better get ready. Get ready. I'm ready. Hey. Variation, tribulation, condemnation. You better get ready. Get ready. Get ready. You better get ready. You better get ready. Get ready.
Yeah, you better get ready.
Get ready. Get ready.
Oh, you better get ready, y'all. I'm gonna play our working homeless video, and we'll be back in the studio.
They've been very responsible. In fact, maybe a little more responsible than your everyday employee that gets hired, because they feel like there's something that they need to prove, and that's how appreciative they are. This is the first real paying job that most of them had in a very long time. The hiring process is somewhat unique. A lot of the people that are homeless have criminal records that would prohibit them from working for the city of Fort Worth and some other employers. They develop an employment record so that they can apply for jobs with corporations and other local businesses. Once they become homeless, they somewhat lose hope, they lose the connection to services that they need, be productive. It just becomes a cycle of moving from one camp to another and standing in line in a soup kitchen. This is the way to fix a lot of the homeless issues in 2018 and beyond.
Yeah, you see in that clip they say more cities should be doing this. We're going to try to adapt this, aren't we, Denny?
I mean, speak to your representative in Congress. You know, make some phone calls to the people that you know that you would like to get involved, starting with our mayor, Browser. And something can be done. They say we have more pressing issues in our government at present. I beg to differ in terms of them supposedly fighting so hard to keep our democracy safe. But I live in a country, the great USA, where our democracy was supposed to be about freedom for every living man, woman, and child. But I am reminded, especially with this present, I hate to say it, you know, but it's true, administration, that I'm reminded that we of color are still being treated like property. That all we're good for is to use our backs and not our minds, our expertise, our gifts, our talents, to contribute to this so-called great country, the United States of America. The concept may have been pure in thought, but outrageously short in its implementation.
Yeah, we don't want to get too political in it.
No, you know, I don't get stuck. But when something digs into my spine about the unfairness, not even the unfairness, the whole point of right and wrong, which I stress so fervently every time I open my mouth, not just to the general public, but to you and to those that I speak to publicly. I mean, you know, one-on-ones, church people, friends, which I have few.
Church folk.
But in general, you know,
You have plenty of friends.
I've expressed it, and like I said, I won't get stuck on it. I'll move on. What we want to do is remind you that To Save Soul Records Radio has stretched out in its reach out to the general public through its programming on the C-Joy Network, whose CEO is Lita Robinson, a wonderful woman, and also family in Christ, who has pledged to serve God with a whole heart in whatever endeavor that she is involved in, as we of Spirit to Spirit and To Save Soul Records do also. Again, do you care? It's not about just giving support to our effort to help the homeless and to empower our brothers and sisters. Our mission to be a ministry to help others. Because personally to me, the enemy is not so much an entity, even though it is a principality. The enemy exercises itself through selfishness. Selfishness breeds discontent, hate. So I remember writing on my page just this week, and I haven't been on Facebook a lot lately because of my depressed state of the state of affairs of the world. But I'd like to say the sun comes up every morning, and not literally because the sun never goes down.
We just
And
spin.
Yeah, and trouble don't last always. So I'm not dwelling on my up and down in terms of my emotional state. But I like people to realize that, as I wrote on my page, everybody has an agenda except for babies. You know what I mean? They don't know the ropes yet, and they only will know what they are taught and what they accept through influence as truth to express it themselves. So all I ask is that you be honest with yourself. Ask yourself, what is your agenda? And is it spiritually and based on a Christian truth? If it is not, you need to check yourself. As people used to say, check yourself or wreck yourself. It needs to be put in check. No man is an island. No one stands alone. Even the hermit had to be around people long enough not to want to be. You know, let's get real.
Yeah, man, that's real.
Don't get it twisted, y'all. So, for everyone on this internet, this vast internet that reaches all over the world, who have some kind of program, radio show, whatever the media may be, we're asking you to use it to serve the goodness in life, which is your fellow man, your fellow woman. All of us need some sort of help, some sort of relationship that they can trust in. Even though in the word it says to trust no man, trust only the Father and the Son. But he is embedded in all of us. It is why and how we live, because of the Spirit of God. So if you can see past all the misconceptions, the bad behavior, the ill-gotten, the personal attacks, the subversive attacks, and try to see the good inside of the bad, try to do so. I said try to do so because in some cases it is nearly impossible, because many people do not have your best interest in mind. There's backbiting and stabbing going on every day just because they don't like you. And many of them don't know why. But not to get stuck on that either, because no negativity do I want anyone to get stuck on. Because as far as I'm concerned, that's stuck on stupid, and I've been there and done that too. And from time to time, trip up and go back. But it's about moving forward.
Yeah. You real.
The song said you better get ready, but the bottom line is you better be ready, because no one knows the day and the time. Could be the next moment. And stop thinking unlikely. You just don't know. Nor do I.
You skippy with that.
So I'm going to ask Mike to play some more music. And then we're going to get out of here. Make room to Save Soul Records, and for you to take your own private thoughts on what I've spoke on and that which you have inside that you need to think about. All right, Mike.
All right, with that, I guess I'm gonna go to Save Soul Records. Do one of the artists, Katrina Reese. we're gonna do "Mary Did You Know," man. One of my favorites of Katrina's.
One of my favorites as well.
Yeah.
Singing woman.
Yeah, yes, she is.
Blessed.
She's
Gifted woman.
She's anointed.
Like I say, man, her singing brought me to tears.
Wow, man. Oh yeah, and I'm gonna have to gather that video and add it to my little playlist, and we be playing that soon too. But with that, I'm coming out of the studios. Here we go.
Mary, did you know your baby boy would one day walk on water? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would save our sons and daughters? Did you know that your baby boy has come to make you new? This child that you delivered would soon deliver you. Mary, did you know that your baby boy would give sight to a blind man? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would calm a storm with his hand? Did you know that your baby boy has walked where angels trod? And when you kiss your little baby, you kiss the face of God. Mary, did you know the blind will see, the deaf will hear, the dead will live again, and the lame will leap, the dumb shall speak the praises of the Lamb. Mary, did you know that your baby boy would one day walk on water? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would save our sons and daughters? Did you know that your baby boy has come to make you new? And that child that you delivered, he would soon deliver you. Mary, did you know that your baby boy is Lord of all creation? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would one day rule the nations? Did you know that your baby boy is heaven's perfect lamb? And that sleeping child you're holding, he's the great I am. Oh Mary, did you know? Oh Mary, oh Mary, did you know? He'd give sight to the blind, make the lame to walk. Mary, did you know? Did you know, did you know, did you know? Oh Mary, did you know?
All right now.
We're live back in the studio, everyone.
Yeah, continue to touch the hearts and souls of the many. We like to say a great big LOL to all our family, on the artists on the roster of the Save Souls Records, and ask that you continue to support their efforts. For To Save Souls Records is exactly about what the name says. They're in this business to save souls. And with that said, 8 o'clock on the C-Joy Network, To Save Souls Radio. I like to say now, I'm going to say a very short prayer as we go out and remind you there is no us without you. Lord, bless you and thank you for all that you have done, all that you're doing, and all that you're about to do. For Lord, you know what we stand in need of. As our understanding is not your understanding, we only ask that you fulfill our needs, and that one day our every want will become our needs, and want will exist no more. In your name, Father, in the name of the Holy Spirit, we say thank you. Amen, amen, and amen.
We want to thank everybody for coming this evening. And with God's grace, we'll be here next week. I mean, all our hopes and intentions, man, for every Thursday is to come here, man, and just give y'all some information and I guess shout out to get help for our GoFundMe project and all that good stuff. But we want to thank everyone who showed up tonight, and hey, it was a pretty good showing. Oh yeah, got a couple people, man. I think for the first time they've come through, so I mean that's a blessing. What do you think, Jim?
Hey, don't let the color of your skin get you down, because inside all of us, God is, God lives. Remember, don't do anything that you don't have no business doing, because you do know, some of us, the difference.
That's right, Sunday.
Between right and wrong. God bless you all. And Marsha, and in going out, I have to say, baby, sister, family, we love you.
We love you.
Keep letting God direct you. God bless. Amen.
Amen.
Be good, everybody. Until next week.
Until next week, y'all, God willing, we'll be back.
We out.
7 o'clock.
Spirit.
Spirit. And don't forget, you got to still tell me. You got to tell them about the. You got to tell them about the C-Joy Network now.
I just did. I said.
No, I mean, where it's going.
8 o'clock.
Oh yeah, okay, 8 o'clock.
To Save Souls Radio on the C-Joy Network.
All right.
Check it out.
Check it out, y'all. And until next week, y'all, God willing, y'all be blessed.
Be blessed.
Okay.